Jared? Yeah, Jared? What are your thoughts on animal testing? Well, no, animal testing shouldn't be in psychology. What? Why? You're literally hurting animals in order to help science? What type of way is that? If anything, we should just listen to humans. Well, how's that any better? Well, yeah, you get better results that way. Alright, that's it. Get ready. We're gonna go to bed. Oh no, we're not doing this, he goes. And he's gone. So much for reading this.
Well, howdy there, everybody. My name is Sprinkles, or you can just call me your judge. Judge Sprinkles will also work. Today we're going to be discussing about the topic of whether or not animals should be used in psychology for testing. First, we're going to hear from the positive Sprinkles, then we're going to hear from the negative Sprinkles. Members of the jury, thank you all for coming.
Thanks for having us, Your Honor. Yeah, thank you.
Positive Sprinkles, you have the ground.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury. When some hear the words animal testing, most think of animals either being burned, stabbed, tortured, or even killed. However, I firmly agree to the resolution that animal testing is fully justified for the benefit of human advancement in psychology.
Thank you, positive Sprinkles. Negative Sprinkles, you have the ground.
Honor, members of the jury, picture yourself in a testing laboratory. Needles, drugs, knives pointed in your direction, with having no idea what's going on around you. Many animals go through this every day. People claim that animals are put through this just so that we as humans can fully understand how to cure each other and how to understand ourselves. But this is unright. For how can we understand ourselves with these animals, putting them through the pain and the misery? Your Honor, members of the jury, animal testing is simply not justified in psychology. My first point, animal research has played a vital part in nearly every medical breakthrough. According to the Foundation for Biomedical Research, quote, research with cows helped create the world's first vaccine, which in turn helped end smallpox. Studies with monkeys, dogs, and mice led to the polio vaccine. Drugs used to combat cancer, HIV/AIDS, Alzheimer's, hepatitis, and malaria would not have been possible without research with primates, unquote. How would you say that this using animals in psychology is not beneficial? But that still doesn't bring up the point that animals in these types of environments, such as the kitty carousel experiment, or Pavlov dogs, or the mice experiment where he had to push a button in order to receive food, it doesn't make it right for them. In fact, it probably caused stress for them, producing unreliable results. Mr. Third, all experiments are somewhat skewed. Wouldn't you agree? Whether it be in humans or animals. That makes your point flawed. So how can you still stand there spewing facts to these people, saying that animal testing is bad and worse? And wouldn't you also agree that it's easier to get mice than humans?
Well, of course it would be easier to obtain animals as participants in a study. Does that still make it right?
That's what so many other scientists in psychology believe as well. Humans are much more tough to get, Your Honor, jury, than mice. Mice roam the wild. They don't apply to the same rules we do. In fact, an average human lives for 80 years. Average. Mice, one of the animals most scientists and experimenters test on, live about 1 year in the wild, and in protected environments, about 2 to 3. Mice also give birth to about 6 to 8 mice per litter, and most have about 5 to 10 litters per year. That's about 80 mice per year maximum. This means that we could have entire generations of mice to test on, with the same genomes, and the same way that they act. Wouldn't you say that this makes it so much better than the test on humans?
While you may have the point that animals are much more easier to obtain rather than humans in a participant study, that still doesn't make it right. In fact, some of these animals endure stress, just like humans do. Does that make it right? In fact, it even skews the results. Wouldn't you agree?
That's where you're wrong again, Mr. Thayer. Your Honor, if I may cite another case.
I don't see why not, Buzz and Sprinkles. Proceed.
Thank you. According to Nature Genetics, quote, stressed or crowded animals produce unreliable research results, and many phenotypes are only accessible in contented animals in enriched environments. It is in the best interest of the researchers not to cut corners or to neglect welfare issues, unquote. At some labs, such as Cedars-Sinai Medical Center's Animal Research Facility, dogs are given 2 times a day to play with other dogs and socialize. In fact, wouldn't you agree in psychology the same thing happens? Look at the kitty carousel. Look at Pavlov dogs. They all got at least some free time.
Well, yes, earlier I said that humans should be the only ones to test on. Besides, isn't psychology defined as trying to figure out how the human mind works?
Oh. Mr. Thayer, how can you be so naive? Look at you now. Right now, you're eating a taco. Isn't that correct?
Well, yes, I've made this before I went into court.
And you're eating it in a courtroom as well, correct?
Excuse me, are you trying to blame me on the sense that I'm breaking the trial code? It says right here in the code book, on page 98, section 59-B, section A, that we are fully allowed to eat in this courtroom. So why you are trying to accuse me of having a taco in here, I'm not sure how that helps your point.
Your Honor, if I may take his taco in as evidence, A.
I don't see why not, Buzz and Sprinkles. Proceed.
Look at the way the taco is. Mr. Thayer, is that taco made of meat?
Well, yes, but what does that have to do with anything?
Well. You still think animal testing is wrong, yet you stand there and you eat what might have saved a child if it had been researched on. According to a recent study done by SpeakingOfResearch.com, they found that, quote, people in the United States alone eat 9 billion chickens, 150 million cattle, pigs, and sheep
annually. Aha! Exactly. You're just helping my point now. Whose side are you truly on? You just stated yourself that so many animals are tested on. Especially in psychology, most of them probably experience stress, as we previously discovered. How are you helping your case? Speaking of research then goes on to say, quote, yet we only use around 26 million animals for research, 95% of which are rodents and birds and fish, unquote. Doing some mental math, that is around 351.92 times the number of animals tested on each year. To put that to scale, that is 9,124,000,000 in a difference. And that's only in the United States as well.
We will now hear closing statements from both the positive and negative Sprinkles. Positive Sprinkles, you have the ground.
Your Honor, the jury, I presented you the facts, and only the facts. No opinions were stated on my side of the court case, but his is full of holes, and lies, and fake facts. How can you listen to him? Animal testing in psychology is fully justified and is needed in order to advance human nature.
Thank you, positive Sprinkles. Negative Sprinkles, you have the ground.
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the jury, please, this is all I ask for you. Understand. Animals are taken in every day, and they are taken to these unfathomable locations. Let's take the kitten carousel we have previously discussed in our debate. These kittens, one of them was allowed to walk around a pole freely, the other one stuck in a box where only his feet were dragged along. Do you think that this has any impact on the human mind? In what way does that test equal the human mind and how we act in our normal average every day?
Thank you, negative Sprinkles. Members of the jury, have you come to a conclusion